Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to another exciting episode of Channel X. Happy Friday. I know I'm off camera here, but that's okay. I'm here. Don't worry, I didn't go anywhere. I have no intentions on leaving. I'm here forever. And I am glad. And thank you for allowing me to make a nuisance out of make an ass out of myself for the next hour or so, depending on how long I drag out this video. As we do every Channel X episode. Um, I am your host, TomDog247. As always, I'm Tom Dog all day and Tom Dog all night. Woo, baby, alright. So, yes, I know it's Friday. And, so before we do the shoutouts and everything like that, I do apologize for not doing the show Thursday. I just been exhausted and tired. A lot of personal stuff going on. I addressed this a little bit too on my unboxing, which is uploading, which is another reason why I'm a little late doing the show tonight, because I just got done with the unboxing video and I'm uploading and chim chim chiru, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have a good time here, I'm sure, and when it's officially uploaded, you get a chance, show that unboxing video some love as well. It's going to be so I'm actually uploading two videos, one live one and one. We actually have a pretty interesting show here this week, and we'll get to it in a little bit. But first, as we always do, let's do the shout outs and the plugs and all that good shit that we always do. First, shout outs. Big shout out to my friends over at Gamer Geeks and Gaming Pros and otherwise on Facebook. If you have not yet followed them, please do so. We all have a great time and we have a lot of fun doing so. Definitely worth checking out. We have a lot of fun, as I said. So definitely check that out on Facebook and tell them Tom Dog sent you. Another thing you need to check out is my good buddy Josh, my good friend Josh, who knocks it out of the ballpark each and every single week with his podcast, Absolute Talk with Josh Albert. You can check him out on iTunes, the Podbean app, or you can check out the website at absolutetalk.podbean.com. Awesome podcast. A lot of fun. Good, clean, wholesome family fun. And you definitely were checking out. If you have not yet downloaded the Podbean app, do so. You can also check it out on iTunes if you don't have any space on your cellular telephone to download the Podbean app, or you can check out the website at absolutetalk.podbean.com. Check it out and download the app today. Also, big shout out to my good friend Jen. Why? Because it's just Jen. How's it going, Jen? Hope you have a wonderful weekend coming up. It's going to be. I hope you have a great time with that. Also, big shout outs to David and Marissa. What's up? How's it going? And then the plugs, the hair plugs, not the hair plugs. I mean, we all love the plugs, not the hair plugs, because I don't need them. Is this up yet? Oh, 80. Oh, we got 90% more to go before it's officially uploaded. Then you could show this video some love. Do so. And the other videos. Loot Crate. If you have not yet subscribed to Loot Crate, you're missing out on some awesome stuff. I love as I said before, as I said earlier, I just got done uploading the Halloween, their October crate, which is cursed And then this one coming up is Laboratory. Definitely worth checking out. So subscriptions are already up and running and available through the Loot Crate website. Definitely worth checking out. It's a must. You'll have a great time doing so. It's lootcrate.com. Check it out. And also, while you're at it, check out funko.com as well. Definitely worth checking out. They have some awesome stuff galore and everything with the Marvel Collector Corps, the Disney Treasures, Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty, and the DC Legion of Collectors. Definitely worth checking out. It's funko.com. Also, culturefly.com. They have some subscription boxes. Definitely worth checking out. They have a lot of cool stuff. Maybe I'll buy another box to do a special unboxing in the very near future. 95%. Okay, almost ready. So, maybe I'll get another box in time for Christmas. So we'll soon see. But not their subscription boxes. I'll just probably get like an old box or something like that. I don't know. That I did the Super Mario Brothers box. That one was actually pretty cool. So definitely worth checking out. It was a lot of fun. And so check it out, culturefly.com. And then, of course, this episode is brought to you by M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Trade in your old video games and consoles from retro video games, accessories, and systems. You can also trade in your DVD box sets, Blu-rays, and DVD box sets and Blu-rays. You could also trade in your sports cards and novelty items, as well as wrestling collectibles and autographed items spanning from sports, wrestling, and actors. If you happen to be in the Connecticut area and you want to check out their lovely stores that they have in the Connecticut area, you could do so because they also have a list of events on their website which you should check out, and that is mjvideogamesandcollectibles.com. Check it out today, and come on down and say hi to Wrestling Prime Hall of Famer T Black. Definitely worth checking out. And of course, this episode is brought to you by the Shebean Brewing Company here in Connecticut, home of the Alpaca Blanca, my favorite beer. And it's an India Pale Ale, very good. I have a lot of fun with. I enjoy the hell out of this beer. And their website is just as amazing because they have a list of beer for you to try, and it's the shebeanbrewing.com, and you can also follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and download the Untapped app. Download it today. Definitely worth checking out. And then of course a reminder that if you don't know what to get, the holidays are just around the corner, which is in 2 months away. You could definitely give that special someone a couple tickets to the East Coast Comic Con in Meadowlands, New Jersey, and the schedule is from May 17th through May 19th of 2019. Just a great Christmas present for that nerd in your family. And this video is processing. They have a lot of guests in line for sure. I have not yet. I know I announced some of them, but I should probably get like an updated list again. So that's in the Meadowlands, New Jersey, East Coast Comic Con. And for ticket information, you can check out their website at eastcoastconusa.com. And kids under 5 get in for free, which I'll try to do that. I'm kidding.
You can't go.
definitely worth checking out. It's East Coast Comic Con in Meadowlands, New Jersey. So, and I don't know, I gotta pan the camera back over here because I don't know if you know I have a window open. You can't. I know you can't really see it because the blinds are down. I like my privacy, and on sometimes I like the darkness. Um, that's a different. But yeah, it is nice outside. We're in the month of. We just started the month of November, and it is warm outside. It's in the 60s. I know it's going to drop down 40 degree somewhere in the 40s tonight here in the East Coast, but it is hot outside. It is actually no, it's not hot, it's warm. It is actually very warm and everything. And I don't know. I think we're going to have one shitty winter, which I'm not complaining because my back loves it. Those of you who hate shoveling knows exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe it will snow on election day. Um, because I'm kidding. Well, actually, there was one year that it snowed and it prevented me from voting. Actually, no. I used that as an excuse. I'm only kidding. I had another excuse, but I'll explain to that. I'll explain that later. Um, but yeah, um, I do this every now and then on Channel X, so this is nothing out of the ordinary. The last time I did an election special like this, um, was a couple of years ago when we talked about the president, but in who was going to be president, but in on that aspect, I actually saved that for Tom Dog Rants. So, which a lot of people are. Um, okay, it is uploaded. Which a lot of people are wondering why I haven't been doing a rant video um, since January of this year. And I do apologize. I do say that I was going to do rant videos and everything like that, but then I sometimes save them for this show, um, like the whole because I had some great material lined up for that whole Nike issue. I had some things to say about that, a little bit more than my Channel X than the Channel X episode that you're watching right now. But I kept it kind of brief, and I still got into it. Um, and then of course, um, the bombing and the bombing that transpired. With the not really a bombing, but bombs that were sent to a bunch of Democrats, a couple of Republicans, and a celebrity. Um, which I didn't really touch base with in this video on this show, but I actually wanted to save that for, but the guy's in on trial right now, and I want to get I want to get more information on what's been going down before I start putting on the shirt. So when I say the shirt, that's when I wear that Primal Rage t-shirt. So that's going to happen, um, especially when it involves Donald Trump, or Donnie Trump, as I should say. I notice I don't refer to him as President Trump, um, for the main reason I still don't think of him as a president because he's not acting like one. But that's neither here nor there. Um, well, that's for another time. But that I refer to him still as Donnie Chump. But I might change that to Presidents. Presidents. You know, dunce cap. Presidents Chump. So maybe I don't know. I give him such a hard time on Twitter. When I call him out on a few things. I actually called him an asshole. Finally. And of course, I still stand where I said about him being the worst thing to happen to America since 9/11. Oh, yeah, I said that to him too. He hasn't commented on that. He hasn't commented on that. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe if I was more popular, then I can see. Yeah, he would. But anyways, that's enough about that piece of shit. And let's do some more encouragement of voting. Um, it's this Tuesday. Um, across the nation, across the U.S. and we pick our governor, our senators, and everything like that. And it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting for most towns. You know, I hope a new governor is crowned in Flint, Michigan, in Michigan. So because I from what I understand, they're still having problems after the water issue, under that issue. I don't know, but still, um, if you're from Michigan, you know, comment down below if you're still having issues after that that thing. They I think of the like the water supply was ruined or something. I actually forget. I honestly forgot, and I feel bad, and I'm sorry for it. But just like you know, feel free to clue me in um on how that it was like I guess like an oil spill or something. I don't not really an oil spill, but I know that there was like a lot of the what like the reservoir or something um was like yellow, like a mustard yellow or something like that. I don't know. It was bad. It was really really bad. So, but I hope the situation gets reason the issue gets solved as you know as quickly and diligently as possible, so that the people in Flint, Michigan can start drinking water again. So, but yeah, I've been getting these Center for Voter Information from um, so just encouraging me to vote, and if I am voting, they want to know why if I didn't vote, they want to know why. Motherfucker, because probably I was sick. You ever thought about that? Actually, that's actually the I actually said that one time when I didn't vote. I was like I was gonna vote, but I was sick that day. That's actually what I said, and I said that on the air, and I got a lot of heat. I actually had a lot of heat for that. This is when I was younger. Um, that was still a noob when it came to voting. The first president I voted for um, was Bill Clinton. So he was a first He was my first. Glad I popped your cherry. Back to Monica. Here I go. But anyways, but yeah, but we had a lot of fun with that and everything, and but no, I forgot what year it was. I think it was governor. I think it was governor because I wasn't really feeling the governor election, and so I went on TV. It was when I was on my cable when I was doing cable access, and I said I was gonna vote, but I was sick that day, and I said that line almost instantly. As soon as I said that, I had phone calls up the ass. Either on live or off camera, getting phone calls in the back and said, "How dare you? How dare you not vote?" and joke about not voting. How dare you? It's like you as an American citizen. It's like It's like one guy was like, "You're an American citizen, right?" And I said, "Yeah, born and raised." And I was like, I'm a full-blooded American." And I said, so he said, it's like, voting is the most important thing to do. It's like, no, breakfast is the most important thing to do. I was a dick. I was such a dick, and I actually said that to him. I said, it's your constitutional right to choose, you know, to vote. I said, no, it's your constitutional right to vote. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says you can't you have to vote. You have your constitutional right to choose, and I use my constitutional right to not to. So I was like, I'm sorry, but I just don't. I'm sorry if I act like this, but I just don't feel the candidates. I honestly don't feel the candidates, and to be honest with you, it's like that's how I feel, and I'm entitled to my opinion. If I don't feel like, if I don't really feel that any one of them is worthy enough for my vote, then I'm not going to give it to them because we already know who's going to win anyways, and anyways, my vote doesn't really matter, doesn't really count anyways because I'm not in an electoral college. And that's another thing that nobody understands is that the fact that it goes through an electoral college. That's how they get the majority. How they get the majority of the votes. So it's actually up to the electoral colleges who becomes what in office, whether it's mayor, governor, president, senate, um, Congress, doesn't matter. So, but I actually have here a sample ballot, and I've gone to great lengths to do so because I have connections in the city of Waterbury, in the state of Connecticut. So, so for the governor race and lieutenant governor, we have for the Democratic Party, we have a man named Ned Lamont. So, um, I'll be talking about his role um for governor, um and representing the Republican Party is Bob Stefanowski, and lieutenant governor for Bobby is Joe Markley, and for Nettie is Susan Beiskowitz, who is no stranger to lieutenant governor. For being in the race for lieutenant governor, so she's been in the limelight a lot over here. Representing the Independent Party is also Bob Stefanowski. Working Families will be represented by Ned. The Libertarian Party is Rodney Hanscom, and for Lieutenant Governor for the Libertarian Party is Jeffrey Thibault, or whatever his name is. I'm sorry if I pronounced his name wrong. And then there's nobody on the Green Party. And for the Amigo Constitution Liberty Party is a gentleman by the name of Mark Stewart Greenstein, and his candidate for lieutenant governor is Don Demetrius. Now the Gribble Frank for Connecticut Party is, of course, Oz Griebel, and his running mate for lieutenant governor, Monty E. Frank. So yeah. But we're actually going to be talking about in this section here for governor, because it's basically going to be drawn down to either Ned Lamont or Bob Stefanowski. Now, a little bit of a background for the two of them. Ned Lamont is actually a Danny Boy Malloy 2.0. And what do I mean by that, and why I refer to Governor Dan Malloy as Danny Boy Malloy, is because of the fact that is one of the reasons why I haven't even done a rant on him, because I have brought him up on the show numerous times. As a matter of fact, there was a top 5 that I was going to include, that I included of him, and it was at the number 1 spot, and it was the number 1, the most, it was the top 5 rejected Pokemon. This was during the time of Pokemon Sun and Moon was coming out and everything. So I refer to Danny Boy Malloy as a piece of shit. So this was during the whole one of the characters was one of the Pokemon characters was a weasel, and it had a resemblance of Donnie Chump. So it was during that fiasco, and I lost that top 5, and I don't know where that is. So it's somewhere. But Ned Lamont is now, why do I mean by Danny Boy Malloy 2.0? Is because of the fact that Danny Boy Malloy has done a lot of things that have been very questionable, that should have axed him out of office here in the state of Connecticut. A lot of good companies have left Connecticut under his administration. A lot of very good companies that you'd be surprised. One of them being GE. For those of you who don't know what GE is, that's General Electric. One of the most prominent ones. He has raised taxes on a lot of things um, where he shouldn't have. He also has cut funding from a lot of schools, even though he also became a hypocrite when it came to that, because he says we got to keep our school, our student, our you know the young generation educated, well educated. However, at the same time, he was get rid of some of the schools, a lot of good schools too. Um, he also he also did the one thing that got the worst credit, which really lowered his approval rate. Malloy's approval rating was when Malloy got rid of the death penalty. We actually had the death penalty here in the state of Connecticut, and Danny Boy Malloy decided to get rid of it. I believe it was I believe 2 years last year or a year or so ago. Um, this comes after the Cheshire Home invasion, which became national. Um, for those of you who know about it, um, it was a very sad thing, and the guys are getting life in prison because of it. However, they were sentenced to die, and the home invaders were on death row, but they actually stayed. They are actually serving life in prison instead, and I was pissed off. I was pissed off about it, and I came this close of putting on the shirt, and I was really, really mad about that. Because these two home invaders left left a man to witness his wife and two or three daughters die. So, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And because of that, the home invaders were supposed to get the death penalty. Another person whom I also brought up on this show before was a person by the name of Todd Rizzo. Now, he was the one in my hometown decided 20 years ago to kill a kid, and his motive was to see what it was like to kill somebody. And that was his motive. He killed a child with a sledgehammer because he wanted to know what it was like. He had a lot of satanic books in his room. After a search warrant was issued, a lot of books on how to kill and everything. Books on killing and everything like that. Blood, murder, you name it. That's what happened. This was also during the whole fiasco of Marilyn Manson's questionable music, which that later turned out to be false, and of course the violent video games. But we don't need to get to that because that's been debunked so many times on so many levels. So, um, so, and of course, during Danny Boy's final role as governor, he took it upon himself to sign the bill to bring back tolls here in Connecticut, and a lot of us Connecticut residents are not happy about that. So maybe in a future rant I'll talk about it. But where does Ned? What does Ned Lamont have to do with Malloy, and with me referring to him as Malloy 2.0? Well, on a radio show, on a popular radio station here in the state, there's a radio station over here. It's 99.1 PLR. So WPLR, 99.1, and it's based here in Connecticut, as I just said. Duh, obviously. So, but anyways, he was in an interview with the morning show, and with the popular morning show, which happens to be my favorite morning show, Chaz and AJ in the morning. Big shout out to them. Oh, I don't know if they're listening. I doubt it. But if they are, big shout out to them. I listen to their radio show whenever I run errands in the morning. Whenever I run my errands in the morning, it's a great radio show, and I love them. I actually met Chaz at Terrificon. He's a very nice guy. So he's really cool. He actually saw him at the Henry Winkler Q&A at Terrificon. So that was actually really cool. But I didn't get a chance to meet him. I'm sorry, but didn't get a chance to meet him. I apologize for lying like that. But it is really cool to have at least know who he was. But but the radio show is actually really, really cool, and it's very entertaining. And one of the questions that was brought up was asked to Ned: is he going to raise taxes? And he kind of avoided the question by not answering it. He basically said only if it needs to be, and only if it calls for it. And Chaz was like, yes or no. Ned answered yes. So that's strike one. So but as I said, I don't know. Now, but I heard the whole thing, and Ned did not really sell me as he did not sell me on how he could be better than Malloy. So it's kind of a tough call. It really is a tough call whether or not I am going to vote for him. As I said, I don't know. Throughout this video, I'm not endorsing nobody. I'm not endorsing the Republicans or Democrats or even independent, but I'm not going to do so. I'm just saying whoever I vote for this Tuesday is who I'm going to vote for, and I don't give a shit. If I even vote at all. I don't even know. Again, that's my choice. Nobody should have to be pressured into... It's not like it's against the law if you don't vote. Okay? If you don't vote, you don't vote. Okay, that's how I look at it. Nobody should have to be afraid of saying that, oh, you're not American if you can't vote. No, it's your decision if you want to vote or not. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable of the candidates who are running, then don't waste your time. Don't waste your time, because if you don't like the candidates who are running, and they don't sell, and if you don't feel sold on as to if you don't feel sold to give them a vote, then the way I see it, don't waste your time. Don't. Nobody should have to pressure you into voting on somebody that you don't feel comfortable voting for. That's how I look at it. But it is my duty, duty, to 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 at least encourage those to vote. Even if you don't vote, at least you gave it. At least you have some sort of idea what to look for when you actually do vote. You know. So I mean, it's up to you. Nobody should have to feel pressured on voting. And it's like, as I said before, if somebody says to you that it's the most important thing, to do, tell them breakfast is the most important thing to do. You know, just saying. But to me, it's taking that shit in the morning. That's the first thing I do when I wake up. I take one good massive shit, and it feels good right after that. I do. And then I go right back, and then I go back to bed, and then when I do finally wake up, morning wood. I know, TMI. I know, TMI. But then we have Bob Stefanowski. Now, I question his motives because he is a Donnie Trump fanboy. So now, I don't know that much about him. I just hear more about Ned Lamont and his elaborate plan to fuck us over. But then you have Bob Stefanowski, which could be worse if he's a chump fanboy. So I don't want to have to refer to him as Bob Trumpanowski, which I have heard on some radio shows. That wasn't Chaz and AJ. Sorry guys. Another radio station, a local radio station, actually beat you to the punch. But yeah, but I am actually stealing that and referring to Bobby as Bob Trumpanowski. Why can't Susie Bicyclewitz be the candidate for governor? Come on, Ned. You better be lying about this too. If you are elected in. Yes, I am eating ice. So, Bob's motive is actually different. His motives, he wants to lower taxes, but if it does call for, but I don't know, he seems kind of distant from that, which means he's probably up to something if he's not seriously answering that question. Just saying. What the hell? There we go. Because doing something here. Okay. And you'll see what I've been doing in a few minutes. But yeah, Bob Stefanowski, I don't know. This is like very questionable. And if he does get into office, just don't be like Trump, please. If you want to make Connecticut great again, then that's fine because it does need to be great again. But seriously, just don't act like it's like Bob. Seriously, I'm having trouble pronouncing your name backwards, so please don't be backwards. I'm just saying. So, um, as far as Rodney Hanscom, Mark Sturt Greenstein, or Oz Grable, I don't really know much about them. Only from what I understand, from what I hear, is that is going to if one of them gets a vote, the other candidates will look good. Um, Ned or Bob will have a easier task of becoming our governor. So, however, I don't know if this is happening in your state, but I know it's happening in mine. And they have another box here that says write in. You get to write in your vote. So what I have decided, since we are allowed to write in our, whomever we want, look who I put down as my write-in. Look at that. Tom Dog. That's right, folks. I'm putting my name in the ballot. Why not? If anybody should do it, it should be a YouTuber. It should be a mediocre YouTuber that doesn't know how to, who doesn't know how to balance a checkbook, which means no taxes will be raised. I'm serious. I'm serious. You know how New Hampshire has the tagline, "Live free or die." Well, guess what? We're live free, and you could die later. So that's gonna be our tagline. That's Connecticut. Connecticut is considered the Constitution state, and which is why I'm so passionate of the Constitution. I brought this up so many times, but seriously, I'm very passionate of the Constitution, but I'm gonna change. I'm gonna change the from the Constitution state to live free. We can die later. So I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry, New Hampshire. I love you. I love you, but I gotta do what's right. Okay, so we also have questions to ask that are being asked. Now, I don't know if these are the same questions that's happening in your state, and I do sorry if you hear rain in the background, but it is. That's what it's doing. But I will read to you the questions so that you'll at least get an idea of what we had to put up with. Okay, so, and I'll read it as best as I can because they have it so bunched up together, and so all right. these are probably the questions that I would do if I was running for governor. So I will ask in a gubernatorial fashion. So I guess I'm doing my own self debate. So okay, so shall the Constitution of the state be amended to ensure, one, that all monies contained in the Special Transportation Fund be used solely for transportation purposes, including the payment of debts of the state insured for transportation purposes, and two, that sources of funds deposited in the Special Transportation Fund be deposited in said fund, so long as such sources are authorized by statute to be collected or received by the state. And it's a yes or no question. So, to be quite honest with you, I was not never I was for the 40 years that I've lived here on this state in this state, I was never aware of the Special Transportation Fund. And if there is a special transportation, if there is such a special transportation fund, I do think that that a percentage should be used to help the state. Should be used to help the state out, because we're still in a financial crisis, thanks to one Danny Boy Malloy. And then the other percent, of that goes through maintaining any vehicles. So I'm guessing that what they mean by transportation, they're talking about like buses, taxis, shuttles, and everything to get to from either to work or to the airport. You know, other things. Like other things. And I think Uber and Lyft is also included in this. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I really don't know. But I know as far as and I think maybe even I think you could throw in medical transportation as well too. Like ambulances and things like that. Like I said, I don't know. I really don't know. Um, but yeah, I think a percentage should be should be used to help the state out. Like to help update their buildings and everything like that, and then the other one to update the said vehicles to that are a part of the Special Transportation Fund. You know, for the for transport for the transportation. So that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel. I feel like a percent should be involved. That's how I look at it. Okay, so the second question that they have on here, and I gotta get started on the other topic, which is in the description. But the second question that they have on here is: shall the Constitution of the state be amended to require, one, a public hearing and the enactment of legislation limited in subject matter to the transfer, safe, or disposition of state-owned or state-controlled real property of interest in real property in order for the General Assembly to require a state agency to sell, transfer, or dispose of any real property or interest in real property that is under the custody or control of the agency, and 2, if such property is under the custody or control of the Department of Agricultural or the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, that such enactment of legislation be passed by a 2/3 vote of the total membership of each house of the General Assembly. That is one of the most confusing questions I have ever had to read. And that's me being nice about it. It's like, I guess what they're trying to say is like, there's like one of the main concerns is that the agricultural, okay, um, um, I guess Donnie was talking about at one point how he was saying something that could eventually affect farmers down the road. And to be quite honest with you, the farmers, especially the farmers of this state, um, have been well received over the years, and they've been really they have been very successful in their field, whether it's you know, whether it's going to Lyman Orchards or anywhere else. But a lot of farmers have, we have relied a lot on farmers here in this state. And that's something that should still continue throughout the years, even after when while I'm gone. You know, we need our, we need our fruits and vegetables. We need our dairy. Um, any type of farming that we need, that we have survived, that we have lived through for so many years. We, especially during the, you know, even during the, you know, frontier days and everything, we have relied a lot on, on just that, on agricultural, because Connecticut is really known for its farming, um, whether it's to grow fruits or vegetables, or handle our dairy, or even sheep shearing. If you could believe that. Our wool. We need wool to make sweaters because on cold nights, we need them. you know, and it's one of those things, and we rely, and I think and farmers should get some sort of special, some sort of special funding to get the equipments they need, because in time they of course they would have to update their equipment, you know and everything. So I really don't have a problem with it. I want, and I think a public hearing should be what we need, so that we can ensure that our that the agricultural stuff, so that our farmers can be well protected, um, well after we're gone, because without local farming, without local local grown organic supplies, we cannot survive. Processed things is horrible. When you have your fruits and vegetables, they're grown organically without no hormones or without any pesticides or anything that's going to harm us later down the road. If given the opportunity, I would like to squeeze milk from a cow and getting that milk, through there. That sort of thing. You know, even if it hasn't, even if it's not the humane thing to do. But and I actually prefer local grown vegetables instead of canned canned goods. Um, I brought this up many times before. I believe it was from last year. One of the favorite places I love going is Lyman Orchards. I love that place. Their fruits and vegetables are amazing. Um, and I just absolutely I love the agricultural that's around there, and I absolutely love them. And I hate to see the farmers from the Lyman farmers have to you know not get funded the way they do and everything. And we if you live in Connecticut, if you were ever born and raised in Connecticut, you have a passion for the farmers in this state. And I'm sure that there a lot of farmers in other states as well feel the same way, that um that this is a genuine concern, and we need that. We need that. So, yes, I do think that we do need a hearing on that. So, I'm gonna wrap. I know I have the other thing to talk about, but I'm gonna wrap this part of the show up. Um, I'm gonna wrap up this topic um for the senator, um which for the Democratic Party is Chris Murphy, and the Republican Party Matthew Corey. Now, for those of you, I'm very sure that you know who Chris Murphy is. He's been on he's been um, you've probably seen him on the news a lot, whether it's CNN or C-SPAN or whatever, talking about gun violence that's been going on. I actually, I'm a fan of Chris. I like Chris Murphy. He's a really nice guy. Um, you know, he had a lot of good ideas to help um as senator, and he's been doing a pretty good job. So, I I'm I'm I like him. That's all I gotta say. So yeah, I guess even though I just bullshitted everybody by saying that I wasn't gonna endorse anybody. As far as governor goes, I'm not endorsing nobody. But since he's running for senate, for the senator as senator once again, he he has my support. So I'm a fan of Chris Murphy. So that's how it is. Okay, so all right, we're not going to talk about Congress or anything like that because I really don't know any of the candidates for that and other things. Um, yeah, I don't know. So So yeah, I really don't know. So so all right. So okay, before we talk about our last thing, I gotta show off. I gotta show off this something. This is a this is actually a candy bar, and it's actually a mini chocolate bar, and it's called Bacon Luscious. Bacon Luscious, but they spell it with an X. You know, Luxurious. Luxurious. It's a delicate maple sweetness, a sprinkle of bonfire smoked sea salt, and crispy uncured bacon smothered in milk chocolate. Now this little thing, this little candy bar, this little chocolate bar, I got this for $1 at Big Y. We have that's one of the local supermarkets in um my state. So yeah, I have not yet tried this, and I meant to do this last week, and I completely forgot. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this if I can. Where's my? I'm flipping this microphone up for just a second. Okay, there we go. Smells good though. Smells very good. So yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's just 3 little pieces here. So I'm gonna take a piece off, and I'm gonna give it a taste here. Not bad. I don't taste the bacon. That's the thing. I do taste the sea salt though. And that was for $1? What a jip. I'm serious. That was actually $1. But when I got it, it was on sale for 79 cents. Little piece of candy. A little piece of chocolate, little chocolate bar for 39 cents. For 79 cents on sale. So, all right. So, I'm sure you've heard the news already. If not, I will clue you. I will clue you all in. We have, um, we all know about the NES Mini, which is something I have here. If I can. Which is this thing right here. This is one of my favorites. Little NES Mini right here. I know you've seen it on one of my videos before. Um, And then, of course, the SNES mini classic as well. Um, the Sega Genesis mini and the Atari flashbacks galore, uh, which is a big nostalgia trip. Um, I forgot what I was going to say now. But yeah, it's one of those. It's one of it's a a mini emulator, um, squarely for the nostalgic value and everything like that, and it's actually it is actually really cool and everything. So, Sony has announced that the PlayStation 1 is getting a mini as well. And when I first heard about it, I thought, well, it's actually, it is pretty cool and everything. Excuse me. And so it is actually pretty, it is actually pretty cool that is going to happen. And the unit is going to be sold for, I believe, $100. Let me take a look at the, as soon as I stop moving here, as soon as I get off the highway, I will, bring that up. There's a little spot over here that... Oh yeah, it's right over there. Oh crap. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, the unit is going to be $100 US. And and it's going to have 20 games. It's going to have, they announced, and just recently they have announced the 20 games. And as soon as we get to the custom shop, we're going to check that out.
What brings you in today?
Don't you hate it when you have something in your tooth?
Good to go.
Bobbleheads and everything. Always do that. I'll keep that. Okay, so big shout out to Mel and the Apollo Show for checking out the unboxing video. Okay, so here are the 20 games. There are 20 games that has been announced for this. And it goes as follows. Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, a nostalgic classic, Grand Theft Auto, the game that started it all. I would get it just for that, to be honest with you. Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, another classic that has been on here. A game where another game, and this next game, which honestly has no business really being on here, Mr. Driller. It's more of an arcade game, just saying. Oddworld. The next game is another classic. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. Actually, I love that game. That game is actually really cool. Rayman, classic Rayman. Another game that that's very popular. Resident Evil, and it's the director's cut. Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, a mediocre puzzle game, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, the classic fighter. I can understand that. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, a classic battle royale type game, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. And to be quite honest with you, some of those games are good. Some of those games are good, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm really not. And I'm really not feeling it. I really am not. I think that they could have done a lot better with they could have done a lot better with the list. That's just how I look at it. You know, that's just how I look at it.
Man, you mean business.
They could have easily done a lot better with this. I'm just saying. And you know, for a $100 price tag, it just doesn't feel right. It really doesn't. It doesn't. You know. A lot of they missed out on a lot. They have missed out on a lot of exclusives. Because they had a lot of exclusives for the PS1. For example, Gex, Enter the Gecko. Why isn't that game not getting any love? How about Mega Man? You know, Mega Man Legends, and you know, why not? Why not Mega Man Legends? Another game. How about Crash Team Racing? You know, you know, I know we have the Insane Trilogy, but at least why not throw, why not, since they couldn't give out, Crash Team Racing, why isn't that on the list? How about one of their popular exclusives, Symphony of the Night for Castlevania. That sounds like a good, good title. I mean, yeah, they just re-released it as an HD remake. And that's fine and everything like that, but why not? Why not give the classic some, give the classic some love? Because that game was classic, and that game was fun along with the soundtrack. But then you got the loading time, and we all know how everybody hated that. Just saying. There's like a lot of other titles that could have easily, been in there. What about, if I'm not mistaken, I think Gran Turismo was also on the PS1, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But if Gran Turismo was on the original PlayStation, why isn't that game getting any love? Just saying. So as I said, they could, a lot of games that were easily overlooked, and one can argue, one can say is like, well, the licensing, like, yeah, I understand that, but what about the ones that were exclusive? What about the ones that were only exclusive to the PlayStation that were of course, licensed by Sony. That were licensed by Sony. Why not include them? No, I'm just saying. It's like it makes no sense to not include those, and they could have easily, easily put them out there. I'm not, it's ridiculous is what it is. And I do like the fact that they have Grand Theft Auto in there. I'm surprised that they don't have the other two, which was GTA London and GTA 2. I'm just saying, because those games are classic as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was also, I was like, why not that? Would be cool. What about, there was a Contra game for the PlayStation. Why isn't that game not getting any love? Just saying. As I said, they missed a boat on a lot of games, and a lot of players, a lot of gamers in the gaming community think the same way too, because some of those games were not even, some of those games were not even that good. And to be Driller. That's the game he chose. Mr. Driller. Wasn't Pac-Man World, Pac-Man World out for that, out on the PlayStation along with the other consoles? Or was that just on the PlayStation? Or was that on the PlayStation 2? I could have sworn there was a Pac-Man game for the PlayStation. Okay, I need a... Oh, that was easy. I need to speed this vehicle up a little bit. This doesn't count. That does not count. This car is not fast enough, so... Trying to drop this off of Mount Chiliad. But this car is fast. But not fast enough to go up Mount Chiliad. Any other titles that I missed, let me know. Throw them down in the comments section. Would be nice. So yeah, this is a Halloween vehicle, and I know Halloween is over with, and I hope everybody had a safe one. But I still want to throw this off of Mount Chiliad. Let's speed this up a little bit.
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
There we go. Okay. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But it is what it is, I guess. And there are some good game. There are some good games on there that's worth it. But would I be getting it? Probably not, because most likely you can already play some of the some of these games already through PlayStation Now, and it makes perfect, you know, so you could just play that, and and there's also some HD remakes on some of them too. So either way, it's but if there is a game out there that you have not played, which, to be quite honest with you, Twisted Metal was the only, no, this is the only game. Twisted Metal and Resident Evil are the two games that I've mostly played. That's on that that's on the list. See if I can get up at least on those hills. Yeah, I'm good. But yeah, for the $100 price tag, it's not good. I'm just saying. That price tag is ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. And they're also missing, as I said before, a lot of games that are first party, that are licensed by Sony have been missed on there, and I think that they should have been on there. As I said, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a Street Fighter game that wasn't a puzzler. I think that would have been fine. I think it was Street Fighter Alpha, one of the Street Fighter Alpha titles. Like I said, don't quote me on that. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's all I'm saying. Real quickly before we get to the top 5, Alec Baldwin got arrested after a fight over Manhattan parking spot. So yeah, he actually punched the guy in the face. And I like how on the news report here it says Baldwin made physical contact with the victim on the left side of the face. Over a parking spot that the victim took. Temper, Al. But yeah, if SNL ever needs a new Donald Trump, I'm your guy. I'm just saying, you know. I can even do a drunk Trump. Mikey, write it down. I want to get a t-shirt. I want to get a t-shirt made where Donald Trump looks like he's drunk. And it's gonna say right on the bottom there, Mikey, write it down. Mikey, write it down. Write it down. So, okay. So before we drop this off of Mount Chiliad, let's go ahead and do the top 5. Now we've been doing this a lot lately. The game against Downtime. It's a card game for IT lovers. You know, computer nerds and everything like that. All love to you. What's love to you all? So, we've actually had a funny one last week, so it was actually really cool. So it's gonna be, as we know, we pick the subject. We pick the subject card from this deck right here. And be sure to check out their website as well too, Paisler.com. This is right here. Paisler.com. So, very good website, a lot of fun, and support this card game. It's actually really cool. So we pick the subject card from the black deck there, and then we do the top 5 from the white deck, and so it's going to be, and it's in relation to the subject. So sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're a miss. We don't know, but last week was pretty hilarious. We had a lot of fun with that. So we'll see how funny it is. You know, these are already shuffled, so we don't have to shuffle them again. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead with this, and the subject card, the subject for this one is, why is the core server so sticky? So we're going to come up with the top 5 reasons for a sticky core server. So here we go. Number 5, why is the core server so sticky? Darkness. Okay. Number 4. Why is the core server so sticky? Blackjack and hookers. Could be playing an online casino game. That's a possibility. Number 3. Why is the core server so sticky? The internet. In big, bold caps. Damn you, internet. Number 2. Why is the core server so sticky? Russian hackers. That is fake news. That is fake news. There was no Russian hackers. Your core server isn't sticky because of it. It's all fake news. Nike, write it down. Nike. And the number 1 reason for a sticky core server. An enormous rack. We'll let you wander your mind on that one. And that was your top 5. Top 5. Top 5. Random tomfoolery is live. Doing the top 5. I'm rich, bitch! I'm sorry. I just wanted to do that. So, alright, here we go. Ready? We're gonna drop this off of Mount Juliet. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh. Hey, there we go. Thought it was gonna end right there, huh? You're wrong. Oh. Oh. Whee! I noticed that the windows are still intact. Oh. You know what? I didn't really get a good hit on that because I was trying to position it at the right precise moment. So I'm just gonna go ahead and position myself a lot better. But yeah, look at the windows. They're not ruined. So yeah, this show is almost going on for 2 hours. 2-hour show. 2 hours. Gonna be a really good show. Really big shoe. My cheap version of Ed Sullivan. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a really big shoe. Elvis Presley. Who wasn't allowed to do, who wasn't allowed to, who wasn't allowed to do any of the, like, shake his hips during his performance there. And one of the songs by The Doors was also in question. But it was still a really good shoe. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, there we go. Oh, I broke a window. So this car can take a pounding. I wonder if it was made by Timex. Yeah, it didn't really get damaged that much. Really didn't. Surprising. Well, anyways, that's all the time I have for today. We will see you all again here next week. If you missed any of tonight's episode, be sure to follow me on Twitter at TomDog247. And if you missed any of tonight's episode, you can check it out after I turn off the camera. Thumbs up the video if you like it. Comment down below about the PlayStation Mini. We're not gonna say if you're gonna vote. I mean, if you're gonna vote, vote. You know, I'm not gonna pressure you into voting, and I'm not gonna be the type to say, oh, who you voting for, so who you supporting, because I really don't care. You know, I really don't. But anyways, yeah, comment down below on what your take on the PlayStation Mini. If you're gonna get it, not get it, what games should be on there. You know, that sort of thing, or if you think the list is actually really good. Yeah, comment down below about that. Ringy dingy that bell so you can stay notified of what I'm going to be doing next. And more importantly, more than anything in the world, more important than voting, and that is face hug that subscribe button. We will see you all again here next week, and take care, so long, peace, and make sure to vote.